Transformers are back. Back to the future. God, you gotta love the fan service with the G1 packaging on these bad boys, eh? Alright, let's get him out of the packaging and I'll be right back. Back to the future! Something you don't super see much anymore is a transformer being packaged in vehicle mode. But given that Gigawatt, given that he was packaged in vehicle mode, for a change of form, let's start there. What a vehicle mode it is, which is arguably the whole point of this line, really, isn't it? That they're nailing these classic vehicles. Out of time plates, the amount of paint apps all through here to make him look like, you know, all the time travel tech of Doc Brown is packed in there. And one of like the most impressive details, I think, is that texturing on all of the car body, which is just like sort of the stainless of an actual DeLorean. No plate there, that's fine, whatever. But you know, even painted mags? When was the last time you saw painted wheels on a mainline release figure? What's extra awesome about this bad boy, they've given you the option to make it look like it does in all of the films. So this is your kind of, you know, first movie jumping off point DeLorean.
Where are we? I thought we were meeting in a car park. This is better money.
Right. It comes with the, you know, the lightning conducting pole that it needed to get up to speed and get the power of the plutonium at the end of the first one. And if you want to be like in Back to the Future 2, you've got like the Mr. Fusion garbage to energy converter.
From the future!
So you can go ahead. So if we come around to the back here, just like we could with the, you know, the lightning rod, you can get the Mr. Fusion unit and plug it in. And there's some awesome decals on that. Now, I hadn't actually realized this at first, but to complete that Back to the Future 2 look, you can actually, don't look at me! You can go ahead and flip those wheels up. Mr. Fusion doesn't stay on great, but you know, that's not a huge deal. That's the wrong theme. Look at this bad boy. Is that not totally the dream? Oof. Just quickly, we'll do more on the gun in a minute, but you can actually go ahead and plug it in under the bumper. And that doesn't really obstruct too much stuff, which is pretty cool. Pretty neat. For a couple of quick vehicle mode comparisons, here he is with side swipe and wheel jack. They look all pretty fresh, on point and on brand together. I feel like Gigawatt has no problem blending into this scene. Look at them. The three of them together look like the sort of thing that your dad would make you go to on the weekends. But from the side, seeing him like the proper Back to the Future DeLorean, now this looks like the kind of nerdy thing I'd go to on the weekends. Meet George Jetson! You know how like Ecto-1 was loosely based on Hotspot or whoever the hell it was? I can't quite remember now. I've read around, it has been said that Sideswipe is the kind of design basis for Gigawatt the DeLorean. When you see them in robot mode from the pictures I've seen so far, I can vibe that, but it's quite a bit bigger a vehicle than old Sideswipe. Much bigger. I wonder how that'll shake out in bot mode. Let's have a look. Step 1, flip out those shin panels. Flip open both of your gull wing doors, which is a classy touch. Flip around his legs, twist the waist, push down those engine-y bits to get out the feet. close the legs, split them. Come up to this top half. You're going to flip the wheels all the way around. Take these side pieces and untab and fold them around. And then flip out each arm. Flip out those hands and fold them down. Then we want to fold down the hood, and while it's there like that, not quite all the way down, we're going to push down on this bit. Flip this chest piece around apparently. Oh, that's got awkward clearance. Getting clearance on that chest piece is a little fiddly. I'm going to bring it down and put this tab into that slot. And tab in the arms on each side. Those arm tabs feel a little rickety cricket, but aside from that, there we have Gigawatt. He is spectacular. On camera, that chest is coming up real large and intrusive like. And I'm not gonna lie, it is a little bit, right, to be honest. But he's just so neat. That is just such a tight head sculpt. He looks great. The details like the flux capacitor on his chest coming out, the time and date of the places that get hit up across the first two movies. Right? Even little things like the kind of 80 circuitry running through and that his knee pads look like little flux capacitors. The fact that the third movie isn't referenced at all kind of makes me hope they're going to do something with Astro Train. I'm still holding out for Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. So we did get a look at the accessories before and how they interacted with the vehicle mode, so let's go ahead and take a look at how they interact with him in his robot mode. So he can kind of hold the hook, whoosh, like some kind of lightning whip. Yeah, you're a jerk, Tony Stark. The instructions show to have it on his arm like this, which would explain that tab. Would have been really cool if we'd gotten like a lightning blast effect that kind of interacted with it. You can kind of get something pretty cool going if you borrow Thunderhowl's sword. I suppose with this piece you could also put it in his shoulder, should you desire. Which I kind of like that a little bit more. But also we got a quick look before at his cool little blaster, which I don't know if anyone else has clocked it, but does it not look incredibly similar to Prime's blaster? Just sort of, albeit on a sidearm smaller scale. Alright, do you see it? Kind of? I don't know. They're at the very least from a similar manufacturer. Now, in my opinion, what kicks this blaster up a notch, aside from its obvious Optimus homage, is getting the Mr. Fusion involved. You can stick it on the back to give the blaster a little extra length. Sometimes you're on the run, you don't have time to get more energon, you just need to cram some garbage down the back of your gun and shoot it out as time-traveling fusion energy. Trash, 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 trash. Right, and if that configuration isn't quite doing it for you, you can pop it off the back of there, and then you've also got the same sort of tabs for it up here on top, if you want it like that instead. Which, I kind of like it a little bit more. I like to lean into the product placement of it all. Mr. Fusion, for all your Whovian needs. Not where, but when. Something else that's great, on the inside of the gull wing doors, you've actually got some 5mm pegs. So you've actually got somewhere to store the weapon when you're not using it. For a comparison, let's go ahead and get Sideswipe back again. Oh man, he must be loving the amount of screen time he's getting here. So now I guess it's like one of those spot the differences, I suppose. So those wrists and hands are exactly the same up to the shoulder, and the shoulders are sculpted slightly differently, but very similar, just to probably make sure they transform and all that. Thighs and crotch are the same. Feet are different, which is an interesting and seemingly unnecessary touch. The wheels and obviously the back of the legs, completely different. So all they've kind of really done is followed the sort of same engineering design philosophy. It's such a cool way to do it. They've gotten such a radically different toy and such an incredibly different looking toy by using a lot of the same engineering, and I guess by saving sort of some of that base startup money in places. That's how you can afford to do these kinds of really cool remolds like this. I will say this, it would have been a treat if somehow there had been some way to get a bit more of a defined waistline in here, like if some of that folded back maybe a little bit, because that is really what's missing when you compare it to Sideswipe silhouette. Man, say that 5 times fast. Sideswipe silhouette, Sideswipe silhouette. Now, this figure is by no means perfect, but I just can't believe it exists. It's got to be one of, it's just filled me with joy. The toyetic beauty of it all. You know what I mean? How many times have you seen clickbaity posts? It's like, oh, these famous vehicles as Transformers. Oh, holding his goggles, blah, blah, blah. And now we're actually getting some. Not only are we getting the X-Men Blackbird, but we're also getting another version of Ecto-1, which is great, because I loved Ecto-1 so much in like just the pristine beauty of it all that I couldn't bring myself to open it. With Gigawatt here, I couldn't bring myself not to open it. They're doing another version, so maybe I'll get that and open that one. Until then, it's time I'll be getting back to the future. Do-no-no, do-do-do.